People often say, let go. Let go of your shame, let go of your fear, your guilt, your desires. Let this stuff go. And when you try to let go, when you try to apply this technique of letting go, there's a part of your mind that resists. There's a part of your mind that says, no, don't let go. You'll lose control. You won't get what you want. You'll stay stuck in this state. If you don't hold on to your anger tightly, you're not going to ever be motivated to change, to do things. And so you listen to this voice in your head, you hold on tight to your anger, and you try to use it as motivation. And maybe it works for a while. Maybe your anger fuels you for a couple weeks, or maybe even a couple months. But there's a big cost to holding on to these negative emotions. And so letting go can often feel like giving up, especially if you grew up in the West, where action and doing and persistence is extremely glamorized. And everybody's just act. And stopping and letting go and surrendering are understood as weakness. But there's a big difference between letting go and giving up. One comes from a place of peace and clarity, and the other comes from a place of apathy and depression. So the reason most people confuse letting go with giving up is because both of these processes involve stopping, coming to a standstill. But the reason you stop comes from very different places. So for giving up, the reason you're stopping is because there's this feeling of I can't. It's a feeling of I can't do this. This is too difficult. I don't want to do this anymore. This is where giving up comes from. It comes from the emotion of apathy. You're in a depressive state and your mind is just constantly telling you that you can't do this thing. This is where giving up comes from. Letting go is a mechanism of the mind. It's something everybody has access to. It's something that everyone can naturally and intuitively practice. And it's much like sleep in the way that you can't really control when you fall asleep. You can only set the conditions for you to fall asleep. So you lay in bed and you're tired and you naturally fall asleep. And in the same way with letting go, when an emotion arises, so it could be even apathy, so this feeling of giving up or this negativity, when an emotion arises, the way you let go of it is by sitting with the emotion and watching it, not wanting to change it at all. And it's an automatic process. Letting go happens automatically. You don't actually do anything. It's not an active thing per se. You just set the conditions for letting go to occur, and you just sit with the emotion, and you have a bit of courage because you actually have to face your emotions, and then it just dissolves. It just melts away naturally. So you can see it's a very, very different thing to giving up. You're not getting rid of your desires. You're not pushing anything away. You're just noticing what is already there and sitting with it, being courageous enough to sit with it. But culturally, in the West especially, we've been conditioned to act, to do something every time we feel an emotion. That could be reaching for your phone. That could even be going out to work out, or even healthier seeming ways that we escape from our emotions. We've been conditioned to either fall into work or escape or repress or suppress. And so every time we feel something negative, our mind doesn't go to letting go. It doesn't go to surrender. It goes to action. And this doesn't actually help you deal with the emotion itself. It's just a way that you run away from the emotion. And so it just keeps surfacing back up again and again and again and again, never really feeling seen. The emotion is always just buried under your day-to-day life. And so because we're conditioned in this way, when somebody says you should let go or you can let go, your ego, your mind will panic. And it will be like, no, I don't want to let go. Because this is all you've known. You've never sat with an emotion. You've never just let it be. You've never seen where the journey takes you when you just sit with an emotion. You have no idea what's on the other side. And so your ego, desperate to cling onto something, to control the situation, rejects this idea of letting go or surrender completely. And you're going to feel this incredible resistance at the start. And the real paradox or irony about this whole situation is that holding on to those emotions and holding on to this sense of control that you have is actually what propagates the emotion from appearing in your life over and over and over and over again. The less you sit with the emotion, the more you're going to experience it in your life. It's super counterintuitive, but the more anger you run away from, the more anger is going to rule your life. If you can sit with your anger, you will no longer be a slave to your anger. So again, letting go is not quitting, it's not giving up, and surrender is not weakness. Surrender actually takes an incredible amount of courage to set up the conditions for surrender to happen. The surrendering itself, you have no control over, but sitting down and watching your emotions is what you have control over. Just like going to bed, you have control over when you go to bed. You have no control over when you fall asleep. So that's everything for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully it was helpful. And if you need help finding your purpose, or you want to join a community of like-minded people, you can check out the links in the description down below. But for now, as always, peace and love.